Gentlemen, welcome traders. All right. Well, FOMC today. What's going on with this whole FOMC thing? Well, what we got here is a down market. I wasn't going to stream, and yet here I am. I can't stay away. I love this stuff, so we are streaming. Let's see. What did the FOMC decide to do today? Voted 9-3 to keep interest rates unchanged at a target range of 3.5 to 3.75%. The decision concluded a highly unpredictable Federal Open Market Committee meeting under Chairman Kevin Warsh. Good times. All right. Well, price action has been down. We did kind of what we did yesterday. We traded down during the open, and then we reversed around 12. We came up and we broke all those highs at around 2:30, and then at about 3:30 we started the decline, and now we're already way back down to 27,259 area. 28,000 is holding. I called 28,000 out in 28,300 is holding. I called that out in Discord. If you're interested in Discord, you're interested in building a community or being around a community of traders that are active traders that are working on trader development, join our Discord. The link is in the comment section of this video. And if you're in and you want the link and you can't find it, just come on into the live stream and I will be able to get you that link. All right. Move the mic around a little bit. Give me 1 second and I'm going to be right back. I am going to go grab a water real quick, and we're going to get into this session. Okay, sorry about that. Got my water and I am ready to go. Grok, how's it going? It's good to see you. Welcome. Thank you for saying hi. Anybody coming into TikTok? Willie's Nest and the others I missed. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna move there we go. That's much better. All right. Let's see. So we're below the 28,000 or 28,300 mark already, coming into the 5 o'clock. And we're just going to have to wait till the market opens, but we are going to be trading live the Asia session. So let's get everything together and see what we're looking at for this particular session. It's going to take me a second to rebuild my my profile chart here. So bear with me as I'm going through that process. I had all of this done multiple times, and every time I come back and do anything in the context of let's take it from here. Anytime I do anything for replays and those type of things, or answering people's questions, I break this back out again, and I have to build it all back all over again. So just give me a moment. And it shouldn't be bringing me back there every time. There we go. So let me just go ahead and build this out. If you have any questions in the meantime, go ahead and ask them. But I'm about ready to build my PMA once I get this whole area here rebuilt back out again. Brazy, welcome. Welcome, Mazda. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate you. Hope everybody is having an amazing Wednesday. I wasn't going to trade tomorrow either, but I'm going to. I have to head out and I'll be gone Friday. So I will not be able to trade Friday, but I will be here tomorrow to trade. And I wasn't here earlier today to trade or stream, so I am here now, and hopefully this evening we will have some decent markets and decent movement into the Asia session. I just bring my profiles back together again. I had to unmerge them for a replay and a question the other night, and so now I have to merge all these back together. We're already done with, I think we're done with June already. I think we're in July. I don't know. I'm going pretty quick through here trying to get this done. Yeah, we're on the 12th of July already, so it won't be that much longer. Just bear with me a little bit longer. I want to make sure I don't add too many profiles into this, so then I have to turn around and try to back them out, and that's a pain. And we have extensions down below us. Look at how this volume, as I'm doing this, just watch this volume. See how the volume within the 70% range of all volume is just keeps on adding into that area there of VPOC. That's important. That was important. Price action just kind of stabilized around VPOC right before we started to break down into lower prices. Very important area. And an important area that when price action decides it wants to do something else than drop, that could be a very important area that will be tested a few times before it finally breaks. I'm just going to add this one last one in here, but I'm going to leave these two out. So what's going on in the context of current market condition? Well, yesterday we made a low volume area. We tested that today and immediately traded off of it. And now we're just trading around the low. A huge down day, trend day, right? And I've been talking about 27,000. What is it? 27,000. Let me get the actual area real quick. 27,087 and a quarter. 27,087 and a quarter. That's kind of the low that we're looking to hit. And we're still a couple hundred points away from that right now, 100 anyhow. So we're still looking at room to the downside into this market. And so we're going to be looking for a possibility of a short when the market opens in the Asian session. When am I buying you deep charts? Jeff, thank you so much for the follow. I truly appreciate you. When am I buying you deep charts? Well, I'm planning on getting Vito on the stream this next week. Vito is a former pit trader in oil. And we've been talking back and forth the last couple of weeks. He found me on stream and he's like, finally somebody knows what they're talking about that's on social media. So we started talking, we started chatting. I think I'm going to have him start coming in on some of the streams. I think we're going to be trading Asia more often. And I think it's going to give us a very good perspective of that institutional side, right? He was a market maker, right? And so what I'm looking at doing is building this community. And as we build this community, that's where I'm going to be able to have some clout. And in that clout, I'm going to be able to say, okay, can we get a few things for the community? And that is when hopefully I'm going to be able to do some things along with deep charts, along with prop accounts, different things along those lines. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was looking at something in the charts. But I do want to show everybody where I'm at right now in my own evaluation. As you all know, I was going to trade a cash account. Then I started streaming. I was trading my cash account. Everybody else was trading these evaluations. I decided to go into the evaluations to demonstrate how we can pass evaluations. And as of right now, this is the result of my evaluation in this particular evaluations. Tradeify, it's 150,000 select. That's the result so far. So had this day here. I went sim, took the next trade. It was like a $1,600 revenue. Took too much risk. I was still trading kind of like I was in a cash account and not in an evaluation or a funded. So I took a little bit too much of a hit. I went to sim, and then I got that back, but then I went to the micros instead of the minis. I was in the minis at that time. These 2 days here were the first 2 days of the week. If you go back to those days, we're anticipating chop, and chop happened. So yeah, that's where we're at. Can you put on your chart? I want to see it and how it works. Sure, absolutely. Which chart? Which chart do you want to see? The profile. You want to see the short term. Where's my? There it is. You want to see. Do you want to see the profile chart? Do you want to see the footprint? The deep trades indicator? Oh, well, the deep trades indicator, I don't really use. I don't need it. Deep trade indicator it's a bubble. Here, I'll put it on. I think I still have it on here. I just turned it off. It's a bubble. You got to set the bubble to whatever condition that you are currently in, or whatever contract you're in. And these are those bubbles right here. The deep trades. The one that Fabio made. Well, I think it's the deep trades. You have the big trades, you have the deep trades. I'm not quite sure the deep print. I'm not quite sure which one you're looking at. I don't follow a lot of Fabio's stuff. We kind of have a different trading criteria, so I don't listen to a lot of his stuff. I don't know which indicator he made. But if you get me the indicator, I can put on my charts and at least show you what they look like. What I do is I look for rejection to come into the market in an area that's important. And then that rejection, I'm looking to see if there's like, let's say I'm looking for a short position, right? I'm looking for buyer absorption, right? Sellers getting aggressive. I'm looking for rejection. I'm looking for how volume trades around that high. It's like boxes for trends. Let's see. So deep trades, volume profile, and then he uses range charts. Non-time based charts is a 40 range chart where each bar represents 40 ticks. And so is that what you're looking for? Is his 40? I don't know. And Nelson, thank you so much for the follow. Truly appreciate you. I don't know if I had already thanked you or not, but I was talking. Is it the V tracker? So you want to see how the deep trades looks like with the 40 range bars? Is that what you're wanting? Maybe it's these boxes that you're looking for. Is it these right here that you're looking for, maybe? Because those, yeah, those are right here. That's them right here. I don't use them, but those are them right there. So I have that one there. I've got these ones down here. I've got this one up here. And so if we come back and we blow this up a little bit and we just look for those boxes, this is the main reason why I don't use the boxes, right? I can trade in ranges extremely well. The boxes in here, a lot of them, they just don't get tested anywhere. You know, and then we'll come over and we'll test them like in here, right? And then again here as we're coming back up. But now we're coming back up and then we're just getting little reversals in there. I guess you could scalp those, but I'm looking at more onto the long side at that point in time. What am I selling? I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling a thing. I don't have a course. I don't have anything. What I'm doing is showing how you can utilize order flow and volume profiling to develop yourself into a consistently profitable trader. That's it. I don't have a course. I don't have anything to sell. I don't have anything to offer in any of that. I do have a Discord. I do have training that I provide on there. It's all free. Yeah, that's what I do. I came out of, I took my first trade in 1998. I traded full time from 2008 to 2019. That's all I did. 2019, the end of 2019, I went through a terrible divorce. I just was too messed up emotionally in order to be able to trade. And oh no, you're fine. No prejudging at all. You're just fine. I mean, that's the expectation, right? You come on to a stream like this and you're like, wow, okay, well, what are you selling? What are you, what snake salesman am I watching now? I mean, it's part of the industry and it's sad, right? Really am trying to do something different here. Next week, I met an individual through this stream. Actually, this is only my 5th week of streaming. I met this individual. His name's Vito. He's a former oil pit trader back in the 90s. He was in the oil pits in the New York New York Merc, right? In the Twin Towers. And he's going to be on here at times talking about institutions and those type of things. He does have a mentorship program. If you're interested, let me know. I'll get you the information for him. But other than that, no, I'm trying to show a different way that is all inclusive, that you can demonstrate here by my results. You can see what it is that I'm doing. I talk about what it is that I'm doing, and hopefully it helps individuals achieve their goals. And this is my first. I was trading cash. Everybody wants to trade these props. So I went into a prop. This is my first evaluation. Actually, no, sorry. This is my second evaluation. I messed this evaluation up down here because I was working on London session. I came into the US session. I had my quantity set incorrectly. And I took what was it, 25 or 30 lots. And immediately found my mistake. I exited out and then I started my next one. And that's this one here. And that's the results so far. That's what I'm doing. So, and then I do a lot when it comes to the mindset of this stuff, right? Very different than most individuals as well. I don't think that we need to heal. I don't think we need to fix. I don't think we need to do any of those things. I think we need to have an intention, know what it is that we want, bring that intention to the present moment. Where does the present moment exist? Right here in this bar, okay? And in this bar, in the present moment, as this bar is moving, okay, we can bring our focus and our intention into that present moment, and we can decide what we're going to do. And if our intention isn't the one making that decision, then it's all of our predictive behavior. It's all of our past ways of viewing things and seeing things. And the problem is those habits, those predictive behaviors, they don't speak to intention. And when predictive behaviors and intention doesn't speak and predictive behaviors come online, well, it manipulates the body to act before our intention can even come online. And so now we're doing the same things we've always done. We're trading emotionally. We're doing all the things that we said we weren't going to do. And we're wondering why, and we don't know how to fix it. And it's because those predictive behaviors came online and we're not bringing intention online. Because whatever's online is going to be the one that's going to manipulate the body to act. That's basically what I'm doing here. DCharts is introducing Deep Gamma on July 30th, like tomorrow. Oh, that's awesome. Beautiful. We can take a look at it on Monday, because I won't be streaming on Friday. I do have some things I have to go get done in another state. So I'll be going to Ohio tomorrow, but I'll be trading the U.S. session tomorrow. I didn't trade the U.S. session today, so I'm in here trading the Asian session tonight. See if we can't get something set up and going with that. And then I'll be back on for the U.S. session tomorrow. The U.S. session should be pretty good tomorrow and Friday, both. After the FOMC, the markets usually have some pretty good movement than that the couple days after that. But I will be back on Monday, so I'm unfortunately going to miss that Friday. And right now we're just kind of chilling. We're just kind of waiting to see what happens in the market. We're down here in unfair lows, right? We've got, this little area of volume above us that we could look for a pullback into and a potential short from that area. But I'm just looking for a continuation to the downside. I'm looking for that 27,080 target area. Nothing special, nothing crazy. We can go over here to the 30-minute. What is a 30-minute done? It's closed below our previous range. And what we do when the market closes below a previous range, we call that bar that closed below a market shift. That's the market shift bar. Why are market shifts bar important? Because they're telling us that the market is doing something different than it was doing before. It was trading in this range. Now we've turned around and came back into a new range. So you can call it a breakout. That's what it is. But the problem with breakouts, most individuals look at breakouts and they immediately think trend or continuation of trend, right? But breakouts can do one of three things. They can move into a sideways consolidated market, right? They can move back into prior value, just like we did here on this on this breakout, right? So we had a breakout, we moved into that tight consolidation range, we extended the range but did not close below it, and then we traded right back into prior value and moved right back up to prior value area high. And now we're right back down again. So we could rotate right back into value area high. We could continue lower, but look, we've already started the consolidation. So the consolidation on the two bars, now we can anticipate either price action moving and continuing to the downside or reversing and coming back up into prior value. That's why market shift bar is extremely important. Most individuals, like I said, will take those as breakouts and say, okay, we're just going to go ahead and go short. You can in the short term, right? There is directional movement at times in that, right? But we can move back into other prior value. And when that happens, that's where you get the continuation play to the upside. And individuals are still trying to short off of the highs because they're still anticipating the continuation play to the breakout. The market shift tells us this probably ended in this time frame. We probably want to look for long positions. And in this bar here, if you look at this bar at 12 o'clock, let's go to the short term. Let's go back to 12. Let's find that low. I want the 12 o'clock to be on the far right. now where's price at? There we go. Wanted to be at the far right. This is 1204. Okay. So now we're looking for the pivot low. And it's right about in here. There's your high volume. Right there. We broke above. Look for a pullback into this area. And we didn't quite get that pullback into the area, but it came really, really close right here. So it came up, right? Broke the high here on this bar. And then we just started going up from that place. That's where we need to stop looking for shorts and look for continuations to the upside. Traded through the low a little bit there, but it popped right back up and held that whole area of high volume. Why is that high volume important? The high volume is important because price action likes to move back into high volume. Okay. So you're moving directionally, right? Let's say you're moving up and you have a high volume area below you. Price action will usually come back and test into that high volume before starting to move higher. All right. We see it all the time in the context of higher time frame. We have VPOC right here, which is the most volume that's been traded in this area of volume. Okay. So out of all of this area, the most volume has been traded from this one line. We come down, we break through it, and we come back and we test it. We break through it again, we hold it. Look at how many times we tested it before we broke down. And then we turned around and traded back above it, traded back through it again, didn't test at that time on the breakout up and the breakout down, right? Just kind of like a V reversal. We came back up, we tested it again, and we come right back down. That's normal. I am live on Twitch. Absolutely. Yep, I am live on Twitch on Live the Return TV and the Purple app. I am on Tube, the Purple app, and TikTok. All of the above. And then when we're looking at, what you wanted to see stacked, when you're looking at the stacked and balanced, when you're looking at this, right? And these areas, these are the ones that you were talking about with Fabio with the boxes. You do get some sell off down here, right? But what do? You almost come right back into that high volume I just pinpointed earlier, and then price action turns around and moves back above that box and then trades directly through it. And see here, we come down, this bar here, very, very little volume. We come right back, we test that, reject off of it, make a higher high, and that's where momentum comes in. That happens a lot. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, you got the YouTube recommendation. See, we're starting to grow. Thank you so much for joining. I truly appreciate you. If you have if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here to answer questions, do all of that. The markets don't open up for another 15 minutes, so we've got plenty of time. My pre-market analysis is already done. I have my areas. I just have to wait for the market to open and go from there. DJ Vito, thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate you. This is Vito, everybody. This is the former oil trader that I was talking about on the pits and the oil markets back in the 90s. He is absolutely phenomenal. He'll call out areas every once in a while. Listen to Vito's areas. We call them the VML, Vito's Magical Lines. Yeah, you'll watch later on. Sounds good. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you and the support. Thank you so much. So it's been kind of a little bit of a bloodbath the last couple of days, Vito. Market's been down quite heavily. We came right out of this nice little low volume node yesterday, came right up into that last night, started dropping and selling off. We're closed near the low. We have a low volume right above us. I'm thinking 27,400 might not be a bad area for a potential short. It's been lovely. Well, yeah. You've been short from where? Where have you been short from? I know, but I want you to say it. It's been lovely. I'm so jelly. We can't hold overnight. At least I can't in trade at 5. They close out the positions at 4:45. So I can't hold these positions overnight, unfortunately. But you're in from 28,500. 28,500 and still holding. Since Sunday. Since Sunday, everyone. 28,500 since Sunday night. And still holding short and looking for 27,000. I think it's what, 87 and a quarter? 27,087 and a quarter. So that's Vito, everybody. His VMLs, Vito Magical Lines. I love it. He coined that phrase, by the way. I'm just stealing it from him. I'm merely a parrot. Merely a parrot in the world of Vito. So yeah, I'm looking at 27,400. I think 27,300 was, I called that out right before the market close when we were coming back up from this last move up. I was like 27,300. If we get back down to that area, we could look for a continuation to the downside. We did hit the 259 on the market close. I trade CFD. Hope to learn from your streams. Oh, cumulative. Wait, CFD. Let me look it up. You guys have all these acronyms now that are different from what we were doing, which makes perfect sense, right? You know, people start teaching new things and they package them in different verbiage. Is a financial agreement where nope. Speculating on the underlying price of an asset. Yep. I'm glad I found you too. Thank you so much. No, I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate you telling me that you found it because of YouTube. I do. I really appreciate that feedback. That means that something's happening. Somebody likes that the algorithm is pushing it somewhere. That's always good news. I like that. I have plans for this. I have a lot of plans for this actually. But you know, it all depends on how well I connect with the community, right? How well the community connects with me, how well I'm able to introduce this information, how well I'm able to teach it, right? There's a lot of variables in all this. This is my 5th week. So, you know, it's just a matter of getting this information out there, making adjustments, you guys guiding me in that by telling me what you want to see, what you want to know more about. And as the results start continue to come in, I get into the funded status and those type of things, this community is absolutely going to grow. And when it does, that's when some of my plans are going to start to come into effect. And I have plans. I might be 50. I am 50 years old. I might be an unk. I might be a dinosaur. I might be older than dirt, right? But I have the energy of a 30-year-old and a drive of a 30-year-old, and I am ready to go. And with what I know now, oh yeah, absolutely. I think you should do gold order flow. It's booming in India. You know what? That's something we can absolutely look at. Do me a favor, Bharat, do me a favor, okay? Join Discord. It's free. It's never a charge. There's never anything else. It's a community, and I'm asking you to join for a reason. If you can't see the link that I just sent you, type in !social, okay? And the reason why I'm asking you to join that is as we develop and as we move forward, one of the things that I want is individual streaming, and we can be streaming at the same time. We can be streaming together. It doesn't really matter, but people specializing in other markets, an ES, metals, right? Whatever else is in people are interested out there in the context of trading, and we no space, !social, no space between. And what we do is we go into our own little markets and we do the same demonstration through whatever market is important in your region. And we just work together. There you go. Beautiful. And we just work together. It's not set up yet. We're not ready for that yet. But as we start this process now, and we start developing in that, we start working together in that, we start meshing, right? Now we're starting to build relationship, we're starting to build community, and when we are ready to grow into that, the relationship and everything is already there, and we just hit the ground running. That's one of the ideas that I have. It's very hard for indice traders and other individuals to move into a market like gold and those type of things, right? Where you're looking at an asset that's different and behaves differently from what you're currently doing. And so we get specializations in it, right? That's the key. And we do this in our own markets and our own demographics, and that channel becomes yours. Beautiful. I love it. See, this is what I'm talking about. Hey, driver, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing tonight? You having a good evening? Vito, other than the 27,400, 27,300, are there any areas out there that I'm missing that we might want to pay attention to? I'm not really seeing much else. I can go back. I mean, we're now starting to trade in levels that we haven't seen since April. And so that's how much we have moved down in the last week since Sunday, right? And Vito's been short since 28,500. So yeah, he's a good person to ask. I'm not really seeing anything else. I mean, we went on that tear and that run from that move down into March 30th, that last kind of spike down when we got that huge run up, and that's what started that market. And we're currently around a 50% retracement. We're getting into the highs of October 29th, 2025. And so we might find some possible support testing into those highs. That's always possible. And then that area has another high section of around 26,842. Bharat, do you know Kashav Trades? He introduced order flow and he's doing great. I gained almost 75,000 subs in a month. I do not know. I don't know who that is. I'm doing great, driver. I'm absolutely doing great. I mean, I'm here, I'm streaming, and I got the markets in front of me. I can't ask for much more than that. Maybe a good bourbon or a beer afterwards, but other than that, that's about it. I mean, this is about as good as life gets for me. I love this, and I wouldn't ask to be doing anything else. Probably support at daily 200 SMA. Yeah. The simple moving average. I don't even have one of those up in my charts right now. But no, I don't know Kashav. I've actually never heard of Kashav before. I mean, that's right above your area anyhow for the 27,087 and a quarter. Vito. And you gained almost 75,000 subs in a month. That's amazing. That's awesome. That is awesome. Hey, Metals Trader, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. And try to do some trading in the Asian session this morning since I missed the US session. I kind of missed it. That's awesome to hear. And yeah, I get you a cold one. Would be nice. I've hit a trade myself today in the morning while at work, and it shot past my your TP. Yeah, that's one of the problems with profit targets, right? You have your profit targets in there, and then it just runs, right? And then you're out of the market and you don't have anything else. It's one of the issues with all in, all out trading. But, right? You were in the right direction at the right time, and that matters. It went through your profit target. That's okay. It happens, but you were in there. That's what matters. I mean, whole India is into this order flow and footprint and all. Well, that's all I do. That is absolutely all I do is the order flow and footprints. I started day trading stocks in 2008 at a brick and mortar prop firm after leaving the investment banking world right before the collapse of 2008. And then I did that for 2 years, and all we used was time and sales. That's it. You used to do SMC ICT. By the way, I booked 2K today. Yeah, no, Brock. That's phenomenal. Well done. In that context, I didn't trade the U.S. session today. I don't trade FOMC, but yesterday I was at 1627. My intention is to come in when I come in to trade. My intention every day is to be right around $2,000 a day. That's my intention. No, thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for, being here and helping the community grow and all that stuff as well. And yeah, no, let's see if we can't get you into doing the gold over in India. It sounds like it'd be a boom for you over there. Well, I mean, being grateful, yeah, I was you weren't wrong on the side. Nope, you were not. And in gratitude does go a long way. Absolutely, right? Now, in that context of gratitude, right? So rather than being in that place of, well, it went right through my TP and, it was just gone, right? Now that you're in that place of gratitude, what is it that you want? What is it that you want in your trading? I'm doing great, Metals Trader. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what? Like I said earlier, right? I got the charts in front of me. I got the stream. I've got you guys. I mean, this is amazing. I couldn't ask for more. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. So we've already opened. We've come straight up into the 27,300 area, right? We're kind of holding that as support right now. Let's watch this as it develops. Let's get back live over here. I mean, and that's the key, right? What do you want? Do you want to be able to extend your targets? Are you okay with allowing it to run through, right? And when you start answering those questions for you, you get much more of an idea of what you're looking at in your own trading and what it is that you really want. And you utilize your experiences to get more of a clue of what it is that you really want in your trading. And then you start developing and moving into that, if that makes any sense. And that's how we start developing as traders. And it starts with, what is it that we want? It starts with our intention. And then we just start moving into our intention because we start developing into it. But when we, get into that mindset of, it just ran through, I missed out, those type of things, that triggers the habitual patterns that are all connected to all the things that keep us from developing, because that portion of us, our habits, those things that happen automatically, those automatic patterns, they don't speak or talk to our intention. They don't care about our intention, right? And so our intention has to come online. And we do that by adjusting our emotional center, going back into a level of gratitude, something along those lines. Take that emotional center and apply it to our intention and say, okay, this is what I want to take from this experience. This is what I want to learn from this. This is how I'm going to develop into it. And now we start to rearrange our reality and moving into something new and better for us. Damn, you're right. Never thought about it this way. And most people haven't. Most people haven't. This is what I needed to do to get out of my funk when I went through my divorce. And so I'm just sharing what worked for me. We are all on this path of life. And it doesn't matter what we believe or anything else along those lines in the big picture, right? Because we're on one planet, we're in one world, one reality, all living individual lives, right? And in those individual lives, there's journeys and there's paths. There's one single journey. It's called humanity. And we're all on that journey somewhere on our own individual path. The key is to find other individuals that we resonate with, that are on the path that we want to be on, or on the same path that we're on. And then we can journey with those individuals. And now it's no longer about beliefs. It's no longer about religion. It's no longer about the things that separate us. It starts now becoming that joint journey that we can all find our place to move into the reality that we want to create, rather than re-experiencing the reality that keeps us separated from the one that we want to experience. Divorce happens. It absolutely happens. It almost killed me. In August of 2023, I had blood clots. They vacuumed out like 3 ounces of blood clots out of my upper lungs. They moved from my lower lungs up to my upper lungs. And my heart just so happened to push down when that happened, or those blood clots would have gone right through my heart and I would not be here today. I'm so lucky. Now, I didn't have one of those aha moments of like, oh, right, angels coming down, God speaking to me, and now, I'm just, this profound found man. No, not even a little bit. It's, we held the 300 I should have bought, but I was talking and not paying attention. And that's okay. It happens. We have a level above us at 538. Let's see what happens from up there. Because I have a feeling we're probably going to get up there. But I want to give this a little bit of time in a room before I start messing around. We are in an area here of importance. This is in a low volume node, an unfair lows. But we're not seeing much rejection here, a lot of acceptance. So let's just give this room a little bit of room to just maneuver and work itself out, and we'll see where we go from there. Yeah, I am too, driver. Absolutely. Piece of cake. Let's see here. Recently you came out of a 7-year relationship. Yeah, I was married for 16 years, and it doesn't matter, right? The amount of time that we spend, right, in those relationships and things, right? The heartache is still there. The hardship is still there, right? But then it becomes, do we allow that hardship to define us, or do we redefine a new image of ourself? That's really where it becomes fun. Where am I from? I'm in the United States. I'm in the U.S. 27,409. 27,409 is a VML, Vito Magical Line. And who is Vito? Vito is a former floor trader in the oil pits. Punith, gee, thank you so much for this subscription. I truly appreciate you. You guys are amazing. You guys are coming out of the woodworks today, just, following and subscribing and coming in and talking. Talking is more important than anything else. This is amazing. I appreciate you guys. This is so much fun. I love community. I love like-minded individuals growing together, talking about these things, right? All of us learning from one another on this journey that we're on, that we call life, and how to move into it in a way that really speaks and resonates to who we really are, not who we're programmed to be. And now these magical numbers of the 27, like a 2709, don't look at these as areas where you're looking for a reversal. These are, you can go long and short from, okay? And so I'm going to watch this area here, and I'm going to kind of pay attention to it and see what the price action in the short term does around this area. If we get a close above it, we're going to be looking for a possible acceptance and a move into higher prices, or we're going to get a close below it and then a retest and move back. And where's that retest probably going to take place at? Right around the high volume, okay? Especially if we get a close, a bar like this, and this closes with the momentum, and we close around the top of the 1/3 of the bar, okay? And the reason why the top 1/3 of the bar is important is because when the bar closes in the top 1/3, that shows strength. Buyers were strong into the close of the bar. When price action closes below the top, the 1/3, right? Now what happens is we're showing weakness off of that high. So when we are accepting higher prices and price actions closing above those areas, accept buyers to come into the market. And I put a stop in to lock in a little bit of revenue, and it just popped down real quick and immediately hit my stop. So I'm only at 63.22 on the position, but a little scalp there to the upside. I was up close to about 200. I put the stop in. This is the Asian session, right? It's not as smooth. We don't have as much liquidity. So just be a little bit more careful in the positions themselves, okay? But we still have that 27,409 area that we want to watch. So we want to go ahead and put that on our charts just so we can watch that area and see what happens when we get back to it again. Because we just saw price action move above it and moved above it swiftly and nicely. And we're holding this high volume again. And I was worried about putting that line in and coming back down into this whole area. Should have been looking for a long at the breaking through the open, and I missed it. I missed that position here for the long side here. Sorry, everybody. I was putting in a line and missed the entry. It happens. It happens. To be honest, I'm glad I'm here. I watch what the Asian session is going to do for gold. Yeah, absolutely. So man, it's my day. Yeah, absolutely. What's up? I got out of TikTok Metals Trader. Well, thank you so much for joining over here. Appreciate you. 498 is the next one. So we're looking at 498 from Vito's Magical Lines. I have an area up there too already. Let's go ahead and put another line at 498. And this time I'm going to be much more prepared for this area than not. And so here's the 489 area above us. I'm sorry, 498, not 489. My dyslexia is knocking at the door again. Still looking very strong to the upside here. Should have held on to that position a little bit more, but I was trying to scalp it instead of holding it positionally. That was my bad, but that's okay though, right? We get into a position, we get revenue, We got revenue. It's still a revenue position. It's not like we took $200 or about 187 in revenue and turned it around and got $63 in expense, right? So we're looking around the 498 area, which is right above us. We're still showing strength here, a lot of strength. I don't really want to just come in and try to short this market right now. We got a lot of buyers coming in to the Asian session. I just kind of want to wait and see what happens here. As you can see here on the higher time frame, for those of you that are not in TikTok, you were able to see it before, but now you can see it from here. I drew this area of balance, right? We come up here into 542 area. We're now balanced again, and we do have a low volume node right above us in that area where price action could find rejection from right there. So we're going to go ahead and index these two areas as possible areas for entry to the downside. I'm watching this price pretty closely. We're coming up, we're testing this high volume right in here and trading off of it. See what I mean by the high volume? We come back, we drop, we retest, right? We pull back into it and we continue to move lower. That was such a smooth scalpel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so what it was on that scalp is we got through an area of support above us, or resistance, right? And which now became support. We moved right through it. I looked for a pullback into a high volume area. The pullback happened there, get into the long, and then just trade the momentum out. That's what I like to do. That's one of my favorite scalp positions. I will do day trading as well, so I'm not just a scalper. But what I'll do though is if I can't get into the moves, so like a day trade for me, right, would be going from an entry point down here at value area low up to value area high. Okay, that's a day trade for me. I'll hold that on and I'll just hold it and wait for it to come up to value area high. And then I'll just go ahead and move my stop along with a trend. But if I miss that position and this move goes, right, in this move here, there's going to be scalps that we can take in the direction of that overall move. And so all I'm doing now is just looking at taking those moves in that to facilitate that direction. And that's what I did right down here. Wherever, right here in this area. Just hunting. And now we're looking at that 498, right? Not quite up there, pretty darn close. We hit the 491, right? But here, this bar, this way that this bar closed, I did not want to take a short off of this bar immediately because of where we closed and the strength of it, right? Good area up here for a short, really close to that 498, which is one of Vito's magical lines, right? Really close to it, not quite there, and I just didn't like how this bar closed in the strength. Had we had another bar that broke its high, or this bar broken its high, see how you have the high volume here, right? Up around the high of this bar, there's a lot of volume there, okay? If this was buyers here, we would have pressed up and pushed up into this high, okay? But what we did though is we came down. And so selling strength in here, but by the time we came in here, we immediately traded down into this area. We're too far in the move and I'm not going to chase it. All right. I'm just not going to chase it. So what do we have going on at the low of these bars right now? When we come in here at the lows, right, we have this higher volume here, but we can't even break lows down here. Anticipate price action to move higher. And I'm sitting here explaining things, and this is where it becomes difficult for me to trade live in these streams because I'm really trying to explain things, and I'm not just in the moment with the feel of the market and just trading it. But what are we doing now? We're coming into the high volume. in this area. What can we see here? Possible rejection. What are we seeing? Volume starting to accumulate in this area. You would anticipate this high to break here because of this high volume, and we're not. Not yet anyhow. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting because we have the high volume and it could be buyers. And if we get below here, anticipate selling action to come in and test this high volume in here. But I'm giving this a little bit of time. I don't like the whippiness of the Asian market. I don't like the lack of liquidity in this market. So I really want to go in direction of, like I did earlier, right? We get this nice move coming in. We can get a pullback into that move and just go long in the direction. Because then if we get slippage, at least we're going in the direction of expected momentum, not against it, where that momentum may not come into the market. And we're getting filled down in here, and then that's the whole move, and it snaps back up against us again. It's better to be careful. See the high volume down here at the lows? Get the higher volume up here at the highs, but nothing like we had before, and we can't even break the high. We come back down and we test this high volume here. I'm anticipating the low to break. The low breaks. I'm anticipating a test here into this area, into this high volume. And there's your test into the high volume. And now we have the low volume in here, anticipate rotational market to come back in, test to this high volume, possibly test into the high volume above us here. We could be reversing 100%. Now we're testing back into the high volume here, right? We're going to come back down and test into here because that high volume was not able to bring us back into the highs. And so now we're just kind of rotational. Now the high volume, anticipate this high to break. And if we break this high, momentum, go pop, pop. There it is. See what happens at the high? The higher volume, popping this high over here. What happens at the high? Do we get the reversal coming in? If we do, we're going to test this high volume in here. We can go short in that area, look for a test into the high volume with a rotation back down into here. If not, the market's going to be stronger. We're going to see a pop above this area. This is where we need to be patient. I'm going to go ahead and take a short here. I am going to take a tight stop on this, because I am seeing strength in this market, but I want to see if I can get a rotation to come back down lower. Delta, watch Delta. We want Delta to come in strength. It is not. We have buyers in this market right now. So anticipate the high here to be tested, this high volume, and the high volume over to the left. Expect that to be tested with the Delta that's coming in. We're back through the open. See how we didn't go back into purple Delta? What does that mean? That means market orders are not coming in on the sell side. And price action is probably not going to come and drop below the low here. So be very careful on this position. Now we're starting to get a little bit of momentum. See the Delta come in strong down here. Now we should be able to see some momentum through this low volume, anticipating price action to come back down through here into this lower area of volume. There's the movement. I'm going to go ahead and lock in a little bit of revenue on this position. There's no sense of being in revenue and taking an expense on a scalp. Give it some room. I probably gave it too much room. This is the Asia market. But I am looking for a continuation down here. And if we come down here into this rotation of this high volume, we should see a break below this low. And if we see a break below this low, anticipate some momentum to come in and test this low down here. And then we can possibly move into VWAP. Think that high would be broken when Tokyo opens, but we can see it might, absolutely. This is just a little scalp. right? This is just a little scalp off of the area. We waited for this high to come in, right? Where we closed in the top 1/3. We couldn't get back up there again, and look at all of the volume. Okay, we have seller absorption at the highs here. That doesn't mean we're going to continue down. It just means we have that absorption. I'm going to go ahead and lock in a little bit more here. I don't like how price is coming up now, not breaking through the lows, and I'm going to go ahead and take out about $100 in the position. Two trades. 144 revenue, trading 4 micros. Let's go. This is fun. Everybody having fun? Anybody enjoying this? I'm having fun. And not because of the revenue. It doesn't matter to me what the bottom line is. Revenue, expense, it does not matter. What matters is it's the trading. Are you there? Are you feeling it? Are you in the present moment? Are you worried? Are you upset? Are you filled with greed? Are you filled with fear? Or are you just flowing within the markets and letting it do what it's doing, and you're just reacting to what it's doing in the areas of importance? You missed that scalp. That's okay. I was going to enter where you did. Yeah, I think that high would be broke. Yeah, no, I mean, and no, you didn't miss anything, right? It's just kind of like back here, right? I didn't get into this initial position here, and I didn't stay within the long after I was already long down through here. I didn't stay. Well, I guess I was long down through here. I didn't stay in it through this area, right? And that's okay, right? It's more of, is that an entry that you want to take? Is this an entry I want to take? For me, this here is not an entry I want to take because of where it closed, right? And because of that high close. But when we came back up and tested it again with this high volume coming in, and we couldn't get into even this area of higher volume where we rejected off the highs, that gave me the confluence that I was now comfortable to take a short, right? If this was a position I wanted to get into, now I need to do replays and I need to do other things in this area and recognize this and develop myself into the trader that's able to take these, because it's not in my wheelhouse to take them right now. Which asset is traded? Khalid, I'm trading the micro NASDAQ with 4 lots on 150,000 select account through Tradeify. Do you have learning videos at all about this ATOS setup? I do have learning videos over on Discord. If you go into Discord, my learning videos are they're in there. I think they're in trading, YouTube. I will put a link into Discord. There's training videos in there. I have an individual that manages Discord for me, and to be honest with you, I've been so busy streaming, I haven't paid attention to where they're at. So let me get back onto you on that, because they're in there. I'll ask Sushi tomorrow, and Sushi will update everybody on how to get into the training videos. And then those are on like how to set up market profiles and those type of things. If you have questions as you're watching these videos and you've got questions, right? In the context of those questions, let me know. And if I can, or if they're there in the context of like, we need to do a video or something like that on them, let me do a video on them. All right. And I'll just do a video specifically for your question, and then we'll get them posted out there and you'll have that as well. I do have ATOS. I don't use it. I use Deep Charts. The only reason why I use Deep Charts is because of the ease. So my footprint settings are just this simple, right? This is just a regular candlestick chart. I just push the OFVP and the OFBA, and they're already there. Done. That's it. It's that simple. It's nothing crazy. Again, let's talk about flow, right? The high volume in here couldn't make highs, right? But then look at the low volume in here and the low volume in here. Look at the high volume at this high going back into this high here. There's a scalp. Damn it. This is where I have to develop into trading live. I talk too much. I answer too many questions as I'm going in live, and I get myself coming down to VML. Yeah, well, I type fast. Yeah, exactly. It's coming. It's coming back down. Absolutely. So yeah, there's that, and it's just coming into the VML at 27,409. Right down here would be the anticipation. So it should continue down into the 27,409. No, I said should, right? I shouldn't say should. What I should say is we have an area of 27,409 that price action could act as a magnet to. It can also act as a magnet of VWAP. So if you're in a scalp still into the short direction, I'd be targeting VWAP, I'd be targeting 4709, anywhere right around in those two areas. Be very careful in language, right? As you can tell, I don't have a bias, okay? I went long today, I went short today, right? The whole idea is to weave and flow with the market. Think of a hurricane. The markets are like a hurricane, right? A storm that's just, brewing out there, right? And you've got the dirty side and you've got the clean side, right? You got all this wind and then you got less wind, right? And you don't know when that dirty side is going to come over and hit you, okay? And you don't know exactly what direction it's going to go in either. Let me watch this. Oak trees have a tendency of falling down in storms like that, where palm trees are designed to sway with the storm. Be like a palm tree, sway with the markets. You have Motive Wave, yeah. Can I tag her and you have Addis? Can I tag her in DC? So I do have Atasia. I use the deep charts though because it's just easier for me. I don't have to worry about creating my own charts. They're already done. You have Motive Wave. Yep, that's a good one too. You can get Atasia. Atasia is cheaper. And here's the long, breaking through the open of this bar. Atasia is cheaper. The deep charts, absolutely, but you have to create all your own charts and all that stuff. Damn it, guys. I'm missing all sorts of opportunities in here. I apologize. I don't mind missing them. I'm just like, whatever. You know what? I'm in the Asian session right now. I'm cool. I'm trading 144. You guys have questions. Let me answer them, those type of things, right? But I'm also here to demonstrate how to utilize the footprint charts and those type of things. And by getting distracted, I'm not being a good steward of demonstration and showing you guys how this all works in the context of order flow. So price action is currently here. Okay, we came off of VWAP, we held our area below us, right? All of these areas and everything is just right there for us. I am going to, just in case we get another test, I'm going to put a limit order to buy right here. And I just want to see if it's going to come down and fill me. Back retesting VWAP again after this bar that closed in the top 1/3. Possible pullback from this area. Look for a continuation play to the upside. Oh, so rude. See, this is just the market being rude. That's just not nice. That's okay, though. It happens. It can go without us. I had the right idea. The pullback was like right on cue, too. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to put this order in here. And then all of a sudden the pullback could just go dit, right? Doesn't quite get me yet. It still might, but it hasn't yet. I also have Bookmap as well, but I'm so bad. I bought Bookmap and I haven't even created one chart in it yet. And I did that a couple weeks ago. And I literally haven't done anything with that platform yet. 27,342. Well, I don't like the idea of having this position in here if you have a line below at 27,342, Vito. That kind of bothers me. Dang it. Man. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. Which magical number is more important? The 27,342 that we can move back down into, or the 27,497 that we haven't even tested back into yet? Let's see. Let's see. If the VML didn't hold, then maybe so yeah, so if the 27 the 409 doesn't hold, then maybe the 27 342. Got you. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and bring that order back in here for a long right around that area. And what I'm targeting here is the high volume below us. I learned if NQ can't break a level, there's no pressure either with buyers or sellers. Yeah. And do you mean like, for example, it will just run sideways for a while? Like if it fails at a level and it doesn't break it, it will just run sideways for a while. Is that what you mean? Like in a tight consolidated range? And so I don't always enter off of market orders either. I will enter off of limits and those type of things. It really just depends, right? It depends on how the market is trading. Yeah, exactly. And you're absolutely right, Metals Trader. Completely, right? If it doesn't break an area, it usually runs into a period of consolidation, a very tight range, right? And if you try to trade around that range, you're just going to get smoked. Price action's already moving up. It's kind of moving up without me. I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and I'm just going to kind of wait and see what happens now. So rude. And that's exactly where to stay out. Exactly. And a lot of traders will get into those areas and try to still trade around those areas. And when they do, that tight rotation just keeps on expense, and then they wonder what's going on. So the fact that you have the wherewithal to stay out of those positions, kudos to you, my friend. Kudos to you. I was just looking for a continuation play to the upside after this test and this break, right? And holding this whole area down in here. There's your high volume right here. Anticipate a possible rotation back down into that area. Just didn't quite get the rotation into that I was looking for. And then price action moving higher. So Self-Wolf, yeah, I was looking for a retest down here of the 2410 area. I really wanted to be in around the 2411. Was that the 2411? I guess it was 2409. That's what I was looking for, was a retest down to this area to bring us back up into the 27497. It just didn't happen. I didn't get the pullback. The market's moving sideways now. The open's coming up at 7. I'm just going to kind of chill and just wait. I had a couple good scalps, one to the upside, one to the downside, $100 on one. Well, not quite $100 on one, like $70, $80 on one, and then $60 on the other. Both of them, I was up about 200 and just trailing my stop. You know how the Asia market goes. It can gap a little bit, especially in this time frame, doesn't have all the liquidity. And then there's a few positions I should have been in that I missed, and I was just talking and answering questions and not focusing on my trading, which is a bad habit I'm in. I need to break that habit. Let me ask the community, what do you guys prefer? when I'm in here trading live, so my goal is to do this. I want to trade the Asian session a couple hours a night, maybe up to 8, 9 p.m. Okay. And then I want to trade from 10 to 11 a.m. in the US session. But then I want to do sessions like from 3 to 4 p.m., or not from 3 to 4 p.m., but starting around 3 or 4 p.m., where I'm going in and I'm just teaching in the afternoons. Okay, so teaching in the afternoons and then trading live. If I'm trading live, do you guys want me to just be focused on the markets and not answering questions and those type of things and just letting individuals know they'll either answer them when we have a lull in the market like this or something along those lines? Or would you prefer that I answer questions? What do you guys want in the community? Do you guys want, put a one in the chat if you just want me to focus on the trading and just get into the zone, right? Or 2, do you want me to answer questions? 1 or 2? Lock into the market? 1. So we have a 1. I have 2 ones. 2 ones so far. That's best, but I don't know which one it is. So a 1, I'm locked in. 2, I'm teaching. What do you guys want when I'm in here to trade live? 1 or 2? 1, 1, 1. Jason, 1. Cloud, 1. Suff Wolf, I think you're probably on the 1 too. Okay, 1 it is. Locked in. Learning separately and trading separately. Barat, thank you. Appreciate you. Another 1 from Driver. Okay, beautiful. Let's lock in. All right, I can play. Okay, so we are not answering questions. And then if you guys could, right, in both TikTok and in YouTube, okay, when individuals are asking questions, when you guys are asking questions, or when individuals are asking questions, if you could just let them know that I'm trading live and I'm locked in, that would be great. That way I don't have to respond. And you could even say something along the lines that I have a session in the afternoon, something along those lines. I need to get somebody to be a mod to work on those things. But until then, can I get kind of the community's help with that a little bit from you guys? Is that possible to do? Any of you willing to kind of do that for me if you're here? Because I don't want anybody to feel like, they're being ignored. I don't like, that's not a community to me. So I really want to make sure that nobody feels ignored, nobody feels left out. Barat, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and get locked in. Let's see here. Focus. All right. What's happening on price here? Probably not going to be very active now in the next 21 minutes. We're just trading in this range in here. We broke out and we're kind of trading in another range. Market's going to be opening up at 7. I still have areas that I'm looking at. I do need to mark in the 7342. I don't have that marked in yet. So let's get the 42 marked in and locked in. Another Vito's magical line. And guys, Vito, just to let you guys know, right? This line here and this line that came up here for the 498, these are both from Vito. These aren't from me, these are from Vito. Like I've told you before, Vito is a former floor trader in the oil markets in the 90s. He does have a few spots open right now for mentorship programs. If anybody is interested in a mentorship program and would like to be mentored by an institutional trader that's been there, that knows what these individuals are looking at and what they're doing, let me get you his information. In fact, go to Discord. So to do Discord, !social, go to Discord, go into the general discussion tab. And in the general discussion tab, it is well, it was a pinned comment. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and copy it again. in Discord. It's well, that didn't help, did it? Copy message ID. No, I just want to copy the whole message. There we go. Vito's information is in there on Discord. Drop him a DM. Let him know that you're interested, but only if you are absolutely interested in a mentorship and you're willing to learn. You're willing to walk in with a clean slate as an empty cup and ready to relearn how to develop yourself as a trader. Because the things that we think that we know, if we hold on to them, we're just going to resist the information, and that's not going to help anybody. All right. So if you're interested in that, there you go. There's Vito's information. I have 10 viewers. Thank you, Secret. I appreciate that information. I don't know. I don't watch those stats. I appreciate you letting me know, though. I really do. I'm going to lock into the trading here and not be answering questions. If you guys have questions, I'll be doing teaching. I'll be doing teaching in the afternoons, Monday through Friday, and also on the weekends. I'll be doing replays. I'll be doing all sorts of stuff. Here, I'm trading, and I just really want to lock into trading because that's what the community here wants. So, I'll pretty much wait until the 7 o'clock open, anticipate sideways price action until then, but let's lock in and just kind of look at what footprints are doing right now. So we have the high volume in here. We were not able to break into the highs. That high volume came in right here in the high volume. We broke down. We traded below. We kind of tried to get into this area in here. See the high volume here at this low. Would have anticipated that low to break, but we've held it. But see how we're coming in and we're testing that low now? Let's see the high volume. Higher volume in here. A little bit of rejection off of the low. Buyers aren't really stepping in aggressively at the moment. See if this low is tested. Cycle back up into this value area high up in this area here, this VPOC. Not value area high, I'm sorry, but VPOC. See if we rotate into the VPOC. Buyers stepping into the market now around that high. See that buyer there at 104. Look for price action to break, and there's your momentum. There it is. Price action's continuing higher here. Anticipating price action to come in and test around the 482 area, 462. Let me get this on so everybody can see where I'm at. I kind of leave this chart alone because TikTok needs to be able to see the chart itself. And if I start moving things around, I got to constantly adjust that chart. So it's just easier for me to use a chart on another screen, but it's the same exact chart. You're not losing anything by doing that. And there's the test around the 460 of that high volume right up here. Anticipate rejection off of that area. See the tight and low volume into here. Look for a rotation lower, possibly come back in and retest this high volume down here in this area. There's quite a lot of news at the end of this month. Yeah, there's a lot of news at the end of this month. There's a lot of things going on. We just had the FOMC, a lot of things happening, right? So now we're turning around and breaking those highs. We didn't move back into those lower areas. Now we have the 7498 area in play and looking for a continuation play up into that area. If we get into the 479 area, then we will be looking at possible, that's just a line in the sand, right? We can go long or short from that area, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens if we get up there. I don't know how much it is. I haven't asked Vito about that. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to say anything. I'll let you talk to Vito about that. I haven't asked him about prices or anything about along those lines. I think for Vito, it really depends on the person. But then again, that's my own thought, not something that he has said. He's in here. Maybe he'll say something. I don't know. Maybe he'll just wait until you DM him and see where it goes from there. He's looking for some very special individuals. Not special as in necessarily bright and those type of things. He's looking for those individuals that want to learn, that really has a passion, has a life, has a calling to trade. Let's face it, right? He's a dying breed. What makes him a dying breed? He is there's not a lot of floor traders left. We don't even have floor traders the way that we had them before. The pits aren't even there anymore. There's still some market makers in different places and stuff like that, right? But it's not like it was before. It's not an open market. They're all online. And to learn that, I don't know. I think that would be amazing. I'd absolutely be involved in it myself, but one, I'm doing okay without it, and two, I'm how do I word this? I'm doing okay without it. And if somebody else needs that type of development and wants it, and I take over a spot, that spot isn't there for somebody else. Is really what it boils down to. So now we're getting back into that test, right? I was expecting price action to come down here and test into this higher volume area. We're getting that now. Now do we find support in the market here? Anticipating some support to come into the market. I'd be trading this right now on the long side, but I'm waiting until the market opens. I don't want to be in a position prior to the opening of the market. So I'm just going to wait and sit on my hands right now and be patient. But I really, really, really want to be long in here from around the 440, 441 area. Look for that low to be tested again. A lot of volume accumulation there. Let's see if buyers step in. There's a buyer stepping in right there at 445. See price action retest the open here around the 444 and then break the higher volume area right here. We're going to retest the lows first. Let's see what happens at the open. Remember, watch the delta. The delta is important here. These are market orders, right? We didn't hit any market orders there at that low. So expect price action to cycle back up again and test the open of the bar. And then we try to buy through there, right? But look at the buying. We can't even get into close to the open of the bar. Look for price action now to come back down into the low and see if delta increases. And if it does, expect that low to break. See how we're increasing in delta? Expect the low to break now. Tested it, didn't quite break, and there's the break. That's just a little bit of order flow and delta reading for you, not in terms of looking at it in terms of taking a trade there in direction. It's more of using it as an example of reading order flow in conjunction with delta in a way that's not just looking for delta divergences, right? We're reading the market orders and we're reading the limit orders at the same time. Well, all orders, because this is all volume up here, and then we're reading the delta in here as well at the same time, to get an idea and a feel of what the market is doing. Because when you get a feel of what the market is doing, you kind of have a map of what's going on with it. Oh, TikTok is banned in India. Well, let me get you a new way of contacting Vito. I will reach out to him and let him know that you want to contact him. Let me get, you know what I will do? This is Bharat, right? I'll get you his Discord. And then from his Discord, you'll be able to get in and speak to him through a DM in Discord instead of TikTok. I'll get that to you this evening, though. Okay. We have 9 minutes. Stay locked in, Tony. See what I mean? I have a bad habit of not paying attention and getting out of the swing. I will get through that. It usually takes me about a day or two. About a day or two to really solidify a new way of being where I'm not getting myself locked out and then locking back in and locking out and locking back in and just staying locked in and staying focused. Staying within the feel of the market and just swaying. Have I told you guys yet how much I appreciate you all? I mean, seriously, trading here like this and explaining what it is that I am doing and just being able to be here in this environment with individuals here that are interested in learning and interested in trading, and this is amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you. So now, hopefully, I could put on a good show for you and really demonstrate the power of order flow and auction market theory. Coming back down here, breaking the level and breaking the area. We got the 409 beneath it's down here. Let's see if that holds. We have the other area up here around the 498 that we can come back and see if it tests. And then we have retest a 409. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Vito. We're just kind of trading in this range right now. Can't quite get to the 498 and trading kind of into this 409. I'm kind of hesitant to take a position into the open. So I'm just kind of waiting for the open. In the context of your experience, is it wise to wait for the open, or would you be like, you know what, just trade the 409 and call it a day? I'm just asking you in the context of, from your experience, from your institutional side. And I think that having that institutional side is helpful for the community as well. See what an actual trader has to say, not a retail trader. And not to say that retail traders are not real traders. It's a different form. Next hour of the candle will show a better picture. 100%. 100%. Thank you. Appreciate you. See? I might start thinking like a pro after all. We will find out. The jury's still out on that one. The jury's still out. We will see. We shall see. I really wouldn't mind being long though here at 428 and a half. I really would not mind it at all. But I shall wait. So there's that test back into the 428. Let's just kind of just watch what happens here, right? One of the reasons why I like the 428 is we're still here in this area, okay? We're still here in this area. We're still holding VWAP. And there's a lot of support beneath us. Now look at this volume. Look at the volume distributing here. Look at the buyer of the 125. You have the 234 and the 141, right? You have more buyers beneath than what you currently have here. Okay, but buyers are supporting this area here. However, if we get back down through the 23 and a half, okay, we may have absorbed those buyers, but we didn't even get down into that level. And see how we just turned around and sprung up? Look at Delta. Watch your Delta. Your Delta got through that open, right? And was still down Delta, so there's still sellers at that high. Now watch the Delta here. Anticipate momentum to pop up through if we break and test that high again. Why? Because the Delta is going to come through and buy. Why? Because we bought the high through the Delta. And if the delta responds again, the market orders respond at that high, anticipate momentum to come into the market as they're buying the offer and go pop, 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 right? So anticipate that momentum if we get back up there. Watch that delta. See how we're not really coming off on delta all right now, and we're holding the open of the bar. I'm anticipating the high to break. Not saying the high is going to break. I'm anticipating the high to break. Still raising the delta. The bar is not really increasing right now. Now we're coming off the delta, right? Let's see what happens if we get through the open. Immediate delta, immediate buying, high volume. This is an area of contention here in the market. And you can see it, right? It's like a spring getting ready to just expand someplace. We're coiling up? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just didn't have the word for it. Yes, we are coiling up. We're coiling. I'm still not quite 100% sure in what direction we're going to coil into. Vito's saying coiling up, and I am definitely more biased to the upside right now, especially with this bar and the way that we just formed this bar in terms of delta and where we're at. I'm anticipating the highs to break and momentum to pop into the market. And I wouldn't be surprised to see strong buying coming out of the open. My God, this is so much fun. Vito, thank you for your support too. Truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you being here and your insights. And I'm just very honored that, you've chosen my stream of all places to come in and hang out. Thank you. It really does mean a lot. I'm truly humbled by that experience, to be honest. Don't like how we felt at that high though. No direction for you yet? Yeah, I don't have a direction yet either. Short term, I was looking at that pop, but that pop didn't happen. So now it's just like, I don't know. This market can go either direction at the moment. Coiling, like I said earlier, I see it coiling and I'm seeing it getting ready to break. I just don't have the direction on the break. Look at this here. Coming up at the highs, look at your delta shifts. See your delta shift, there's your momentum. That's it right there, guys. That's it. That's what you want to see in your trades when you're in them directionally. It's what you want to look for to give you an indication if momentum is going to pop when the market starts coiling like this. Because if you're getting into these areas and then the coil starts happening, anticipate a pop of one direction or the other. And so far, at least in this session right now, Delta is absolutely showing us that direction of momentum. Not a lot of follow through because the market's not giving us a lot of follow through. But here we go. Now, 7 o'clock, do we see that pop buyers like I was anticipating? Now it's time for me to lock in. No more teaching, no more reading chat, no more saying thank you. I'm just locked in trading. Let's go. I'd really like to see him test these highs up here. Really like to see them test these highs up here. And a very, very flat open. Interesting. Interesting. Look at the delta. Watch this delta, right? Look at how strong this delta is to the downside, and we're still above the open of the bar. Still above the open of the bar. Should tell you something. Should be keying you in something. And delta gets positive, and what happens? We start breaking highs. See here, we had 14 buyers over there. We have over 128. Anticipate this high to break. High broke. Beautiful. Looking at this and indexing this high over here. Just trying to make it so everybody can see it. You hate this slow grind? Yeah. I love this because what the slow grind means, it's going to end. And when it ends, we're going to be ready because we're hunting it. Because we have our areas. We know the areas of our interest. We know the path that they can take, right? And then when the slow grind ends, they're usually going to grind it into an area. And that area will be there. It's going to be ripe and we're going to pounce and the momentum comes in. And so this is just an opportunity. Right? Don't worry about not being in this, particular position right now either, right? This is somebody else's opportunity, and let this be somebody else's opportunity. We don't need every opportunity. We only need our opportunities. And so instead of fretting over not being in somebody else's opportunity, just be grateful that the market's moving into a direction and it's going to move into one of your areas. And when it does, because you're not worried about missing somebody else's opportunity, you're going to be able to be ready to pounce on yours. And you won't be over trading, trying to trade all of the opportunities, because as a trader, we're not developed to trade every opportunity. We need to be developed to trade our opportunities. Let's go. Test back into these highs. Beautiful. Break them. Now you're going to reject. Yeah, you're going to reject, aren't you? Okay. All right. So if we're going to reject those highs, beautiful. Come back in and test. Do we hold the rejection or do we see acceptance of higher prices here? Let's give her a little bit of time. We don't have to be in a short right now. Let's wait. Let's wait. Give her a little bit of time. Because this is one of those inflection points. She can go up and she can go down. I don't have a strong key in direction at the moment. Although the hourly is telling me long. But we haven't broke the high of the hourly yet. Around the 494 area. Where's that high at? Okay, there's the pop. Let's watch this. 489. We haven't broke the 489 yet. Okay. Possible rejection above us forming. It's not confirmed, but it's possible. We have some possible rejection up here. Let's be patient and wait. We can test into the previous highs here, right around this area of 477.5 and find buyer support. This is why we want to be patient and wait. We're not quite in an area, but we have an area right above us, an area of interest. We also have another area above us around 538. And price action is pretty strong to the upside right now, but we're finding this rejection from all of these highs up here at the moment. Okay. Market just opened. We already know that we're in a slow grind to the upside. Let's give her a little bit of time. We got rejection. See where it's like we're coiling again and we're just waiting. And I really wish I was in an area right now of of direction, but it makes sense that we're in a slow grind right now without direction because we're just kind of just floating because the major players out there don't have direction. So let's see. Let's wait. Be patient. I want to be very tight on this in case if it snaps back to test those highs. But on a retest, I would really like to be short from here. So let's watch and see what happens if we get that retest of the high volume above us here. There's the test. Immediate sellers come direct immediately. Did you see that? The sellers immediately held that area right there of that high volume. But what we're not seeing though is Delta coming in, and we're not seeing this low break. I'm going to move this in for a break-even scratch trade because of the way that those sellers came in. And we pop down lower. We did pop down lower there. We didn't pop back up again. They might come back and test that high volume now. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add the risk back into the equation. I took it out because we hit that pop from that high volume, but we didn't come back down and break those lows. So we could easily come back in at that point and pop right through that high volume. Okay, but the fact that we broke those lows and the delta increased there, I'm looking for a continuation now to the downside. That high volume, anticipating that high volume to break. We have some buyers stepping in here. We are definitely in an inflection zone here. And I'm going to go ahead and move my stop a little bit, get a little bit more protective on it, and took out the one expense trade there. Market's still strong at the upside. Now we're going to wait for the upper area. I took a shot there. I took a shot. Didn't go down. I got defensive on the risk. And I picked the wrong side. And that's okay. It happens. What are we going to do? We don't even have to regroup because it didn't even phase us. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look for a test down here and we're going to buy this. But this one I'm going to give a little bit of room. We're above our area. We are above this area here. We just had a huge amount of buyers stepping into this market here. We could see a rotation down into this area. I'm going to hold this area and I'm going to scale into this position if it turns around and comes back down into this area again. All right? Because we could absolutely retest back into this area all over again. I'm in up here in case we just break back and we continue moving higher. Okay. But if we come down here into this area, I'm going to add positions. Use inventory to reduce my risk. Watch what's going to happen here. I'm going to go ahead and buy 4 more from this position right here. And watch what's going to happen to my entry when I do that. My entry pops down, okay? I increased my risk, but my entry pops down now. Now I'm at a much better entry. And now we're holding this whole area down in here. Got to watch this pretty closely here. Really want to see the hourly hold that high around the 787 area. Buyers are stepping back in here. Watch this delta on this next bar. Watch the lows. Might have grabbed some liquidity. Yeah, it's possible. I know. I'm watching it. I am definitely watching it. And see, this is Vito warning my position, right? Looking for the momentum to continue up to the highs. It doesn't. Looking for it to hold up in here. He's saying it might have grabbed some inventory up here, and he's absolutely 100% correct. And if they did, what are they going to do? Probably come back up, test the high volume up here, and then we're going to come in and look for a continuation play to the downside. I really wanted to hold that position through VWAP is what I wanted to do. But that was one of Vito's areas up here. And he knows his areas better, so I went ahead and took the expense. Now let's get back into this. The hourly's having a really hard time of holding its high right now, but I'm anticipating that to push back up and the hourly to test back into the 7607. What is that? Hourly test back into like the 722 area. 722 before then, though. The 769 area. Okay, let me watch this. Didn't quite come back up and get me. Okay. And then if you're not going to do that and you test back here into this area, I'm going to want to be long around the 7448. So around the 48 area long. Short up here around the 505 maybe. I still don't have a great read on direction at the moment. See that VPOC shift there? That was important. We're starting to accumulate volume around the lows in here off of the down move itself. Is it buyers or it's sellers? See the buyers accumulating in there? Damn it. I missed it. It's going to pop and I missed it. I tried to get in there. I really did try. Okay, good. It filled me. It only filled me with 3 though. Testing in at the low. Higher volume. It's probably going to come down and test into this area here where my next entry is. Barely broke the low there. Buyers supporting at the low. Let's see if we get the buyer support right above there around the 75. Immediately came down, tested that low again, and we immediately came back into the 75 area and traded above it. The way that we are updating the last price to the bid and the ask right now, buyers are in control of the market at this point in time at this low. And then we just broke the lows. Now sellers are back in control. Short term. Tested right back into the low volume beneath us. There's the pop. Beautiful. Got our momentum. Move my stop. Locking in 220 now. And go ahead and lock in 208 from that high right there because that's the area, right? So there we go. Got a little bit of our money back there. We're patient, right? Locked in at the long. Didn't quite go. Locked into the long again. That was the bar that created the momentum push. And now we're down 188 on the evening. And I wanted to come into this area anyhow, so that was a perfect transition there. Now, what happens back at these highs? Liquidity grab. Do I want to be short from up here? Do I want to wait for this market to show buyers? This is an inflection point. I really want to be short from here. But I don't know. You can't catch your momentum right now. It's okay. It's all right. This is a tough market right now. This is not easy trading right now. If you're trading at the moment, you're earning your money at the moment. This is not easy trading in here. The market is really trying to figure out its direction, and it really feels like it wants to go higher. But it's forced. It's not flowing, right? It just is just there at the moment. And it is not easy to get a read on her at this time. It's like she's angry and doesn't know what she wants. That's when it's usually best to leave her alone, but I'm not that smart. The question is this going to be another liquidity grab, or are we going to break these highs? So we have this high, see these high volume nodes up here? We could come back up and test a couple of those. $27,743, yes it is. Yes, we do have a target up there, 100%. Hey, why? How's it going? It's good to see you. All right, let me lock in. Let me lock in. Let me lock in. Lock in, Tony. Lock in. You're trading. I really want to be short here. I just don't fully trust it. I really want to be short here, but I really don't fully trust this position. I don't like the momentum of the buying there off of that low like that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Can we get through? Can we get through this area right here? Do we hold that? I'm going to put my stop right below the high volume here because we do have that support right here. And I just want to see if we can trade through it. If we can, we could be going back down into the 443s. Possible area for shorts, 27,573. $27,573. $25,573 and 610. Okay, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. We're testing that open on the delta, right? Look at the green delta. We're trying to get through the open, right? We keep snapping back up again. I'm going to go ahead and grab in a little bit more revenue here in case it stops me out. Beautiful. Down 107, 187 on the day now, 187 on the session. So now we're looking for long positions. Hourly got above the high, 489. We tried to test it into here. We couldn't get below it. So now we're going to be scalping into the long side. I'm going to start here. I shouldn't have put my stop in that long down in here. That was my nick in my armor tonight, was that little move right there. And that's okay. And I should have bought 4 here. That was a mistake. I didn't even notice that. I should have bought 4 here. No, not yet. Because we haven't really cleared these highs yet. Once we clear the highs, then buying 4 here makes a lot of sense. But buying 4 down here makes a lot more sense at the moment because we haven't cleared them. It's either going to come down and get me or it's not. Yep, right there. That area. Remember I just talked about that area? And I didn't want to get into that area because we didn't clear those highs. That's exactly where we just moved to, right there. And then that momentum popped. So let's see what happens when we get to the higher areas. We have low volume nodes above us. The problem with the low volume nodes on the 30-minute chart right now, you got to remember the hourly charts, okay? The hourly charts at the moment are looking really strong. And if the hourly charts are looking strong, you don't want to try to call a top. So I'm not going to sit here and try to short this 539 area at the moment because we're looking for a possible continuation play in the context of the hourly charts. And we're looking for hourly charts to go up to at least around the 602 area. So we still have about 100 points, 80 points above us for movement to the upside. In the context of that hourly. And I really don't have any other areas beneath me right now. I still have the 501, but I'm not so sure we're going to get back down there. I should have done what I did before and bought the higher price just in case we moved, which would be around the 512. All right. What are we doing in order flow? Nothing. And there's no really sense in reading order flow right now because we're not in an area that we want to do anything in. So next pop. And we're going to wait. Coming into the low volume node, we're reaching value area high on the 30-minute chart. So we're now in a rotational market. We came down into value area low. Now we're popped up into value area high. So now we're technically in a rotational market, but this is a new profile. With a new profile, okay, we want to be careful on these low volume nodes because we've got strength right now in our hourly perspective. We are in an area here around the 547 where we could look for a line in a sand as well. We're still strong to the upside. We just broke out of those prior highs. Now a possible pullback into them. That pullback would take place right about here, right where I wanted to be. We might. On paper, doesn't look like the best entry in the world. But in the context of what price is doing and order flow in areas, but we just broke those highs right there on lower volume and immediately sold off on very little selling pressure. We get through that, there's your momentum again. I love this. See, they're saying that the bias is to the downside. Good luck with that. Oh, if I get a lower low here. Where are we at on the hourly? We could come back and test into the 490 and see what happens here. Let's see what happens. The higher volume up there, anticipating that to break, anticipating the high to break now. The high did not break. There it goes. Now, do we get momentum again out of that high? There it is. There it is. Should have bought that high, but that's okay. I don't really want to buy the high right now because I'm kind of in an area where I'm looking at price action to trade through this area pretty rapidly, but it can also reject and move back down into the lower areas of value, even down into the 297. So I want to be careful in this area, anticipating it not to spend much time here and get through the 572 pretty rapidly. And then we're at the other edge of area of value, and then we have that first line in the sand from Vito right up here for a potential short to move us back down, possibly into the 539 area, possibly back down into the 527. Double distribution bar. Got some sellers beneath us down here, right? Look at that delta. Let's watch this. So we came right down into the low, immediately starting to find some buyers from that low. Now we're breaking through it. This is why I didn't want to buy those highs in there and scalp this high, anticipating possible rotation back down through this area. Might be a little bit early for a short, but if you notice, very, very, very tight stop. Rotational right now between these two areas. Are we going to see the pullback? Is that pullback going to be a continuation of buyers? Or are we going to retest that area and find sellers in it? $547 right here. I want to watch and see what happens at price around 547. I want to trade off of it. I just want to watch it. I want to see what happens for that price. Now looking for these lows to possibly break. Wait. What am I doing here? Let me think about this for a second. We have the area here. We're looking for our longs above us. You know what? Do we hold? Do we hold? I just took a bunch of slippage in this market. I have my limit order all the way up here. Or my stop, not my limit, my stop. Yeah, see that line in the sand that I made here? Having issues getting through it and holding it. I'm gonna go ahead and put a target in right below this area. We're having a hard time getting through the highs. We're testing the highs up here. I want her to come back and stop me out again. See, that was just a break-even trade right there, basically. It's the Asian market is not the most liquid. I shouldn't say market, but session. But this little area right here has me a little perplexed at the moment. And we keep trying to test those highs, and we keep failing off those highs. I talked myself out of the short up there and got myself into a long instead. Oh! Ah! Talked myself into the long from the 539 area is what I did. Oh! La 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 la. And looking for the market to possibly come down into VPOC around the 474 and value area low around 300. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you don't trust your areas. Remember when I put this line in? Remember that? Check it out. Remember when I put that line in? Yeah. That's the volume profile, right? And we came up into unfair lows, right? Value area high, and hit that low volume node and immediately rejected. And I have my order in here to short up here at the 551 and a quarter area, the 554 area, either one of those right up here, right? And just, yeah, I went long instead. Why? I don't know. I think I was looking at two reasons why I did. One, the 539 area and then the 1 hour, but I was anticipating the 1 hour to come back down to test the 487. And so let's see if we get down into the 487. Damn it. That was dumb. That was dumb. That was my first real mistake of the night, was right there. Not getting into that position on the short side up here at the 54 area. That's okay. That is okay. All right. We regroup. We don't revenge trade. We don't try to get the money back for the market. We don't just try to enter. We don't just try to get into our position, right? We regroup and we wait. Where are we at now? We're back down into the 410 area, okay? Back into this lower area. Price action barely broke the high. See that? That right there is your buyer absorption coming into that market. Retesting the high here, coming through the open, anticipate price action moving back down to value area low. If this market's weak, we're going to get through value area low, and we're going to break the low. If it's not, we're going to see rotation. We're going to come up and test this high again around this value area high. This VPOC of the prior bar right up here, the current bar, I mean, right? And so we tried to break the low, we didn't, and now we're trading right back up into the other area of high. Now look for a higher high. There she goes. And right out of what? The 510 area. I don't want to scalp these tight ranges like this because of the slippage that I'm getting in this market. This is why I don't usually trade the Asian market, because we do get slippage. You don't get that slippage in the US market, in the US session, excuse me. But in the Asian session, you absolutely can, which you just saw. Boo. See if we get a test back into the 410. The 410 to retest back up into the 539. And if we don't hold the 410, we're going to cycle back down and we're going to test into the 474 area. Aspect, you're absolutely correct, right? Sometimes you have a read on the markets and sometimes you just don't have a read on the markets. I'm having a hard time having a read on the markets, but I'm really not, right? Look at my area up here. Look at my area. Look at my area up here. I just decided to buy for whatever reason instead of short from that area up there. If I was still in the market, I would not be looking at a long in here. I would still be looking for a continuation to the downside, be looking for the 510 to break. I'd be looking for price action to cycle down into the 474. If we get through the 474 and we get a close below that definitively, look for the market to go back down to the 300. That was completely my mistake. You're looking at, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. And I don't know why I went long up there, why I changed that. I mean, I had my order up there and everything, right? I made a mistake there. 100% error in judgment. And that's okay. It happens. It happens, right? What do? We regroup from those. We don't turn around and berate ourselves, right? We don't, lament on the mistake. We just turn around and say, okay, yeah, I absolutely messed up there, and that's okay. Now it's time for me to do something else. What am I going to do? Right now, I'm just kind of hunting for another position, but it's going to need to be a position on that short side because of that LVN above me. We test right back into it again, right up into the high volume, right? Immediately reject. And now let's see if we break the highs here. Holding that line that I put in here at 547. And now we're going to more than likely come up and break these highs. Waiting for 573? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm waiting for too. I'm waiting for price action to come up into the 573s and then do something up there. Instead of trying to play into this lower range. That trade there would have worked out beautifully. And now the 573s at the higher highs, there'd be higher highs at that point in time, looking for another rotation down that could possibly pop down into the 539s. Market's having a hard time going down here. And if it's having a hard time going down, what is it probably going to do? If it's going to move at all, if it's having a hard time going down, what is it probably going to do? Buyers immediately responding to the lower lows. And still held the highs and the LVN. Still held the high volume there and still held the highs right through here. This is what happens when you lose trust in your areas. This is what happens when you lose trust in your structure. You fail to take the positions in your structure. All part of the plan. I'm not just here to demonstrate, right? The good trades and those type of things. It's also pointing out the things where there's room for improvement because we take those places, that room, right? We take that room for improvement, and that's when we go into the practice, right? We go into the lab and we practice, right? We practice those areas. We practice drawing those areas. We practice trading those areas. We practice all of that all over again to reestablish the comfortability of trading out of those levels all over again. That's what we're going to need to do next week. Next week, it's just about trading around LVNs of overall value in the practice sessions to reestablish the connection to those areas. Anticipating this structure here to break, to the downside. Buyers responding from this area until they don't, and the structure breaks. All right. Spilt milk. Still crying over it. That's why I went back and looked back at it. My Wheaties are getting soggy, and I don't even have any milk in them. It's all my tears. All my tears of missing my shorts. All right. Sometimes we just have to laugh. So that low broke, right? And if you look at the low volume in here on the break, okay, buyers stepped in here. Buyers are more aggressive than they were over at the low over here, and price action's moving back up again. Now let's see if we get price action back up above our range here. I really don't want to see another rejection from these highs. Then I really might cry. Oh, good times. Good times. This is really not that important. Oh, man. Do make myself laugh, though. And sometimes laughter is exactly what you need to get over that sort of experience that happened twice, right? To the downside, right? And you just now just lock yourself back in and get prepared for the next position. Don't demand perfection from yourself. And this structure area here isn't enough for me to go long off of, but we have that from the break of the lows here, the buyer support beneath us. We do have that possibility. Yeah, absolutely, Aspect. Most definitely. Please do. Yeah. I completely gaffed the long back here earlier. I think it was over here. And then, yeah, it was over here, I think. Well, the short here, and then the short here, and then I was also in a long earlier too, someplace down here, and got stopped out of that long. So there was really 3 trades today that I should have done much better on, but that's what the replay is going to be for this next week, and we are going to replay the Asian session. I don't like the fact that I'm getting slippage in this session either. Coming right off my little magical line there. Let's see if we break it. Sellers keep coming into this area and keep defending, rightfully so. Developing value, LVN. What do we have in this market right now? Retail traders. What don't we have a lot of in this market right now? Institutions. How do we know? Because we're not trading directionally, we're trading in a range. And so your retail traders that are doing auction market theory and those type of things are continually shorting into this area, doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing when I'm not. Now let's see if we can get up here into the upper area, right? Because that's where we might actually attract some professionals getting into the market. And if we get the professionals in the market, we're going to get more of a directional move instead of this full rotation that's happening in here. Because right now, this is not time to be in day trades, trying to hold down into those lower areas that I was talking about, like LVN at 474. These right here, they just need to be scalped. Just scalp them down to the next level and then wait for your next entry. Continue to short until eventually it's going to break out to the upside. or break out to the downside, one of the two. Give us about another half hour to an hour of trading. And then I'm probably going to call it a night. But I'm going to do my best to get myself back into at least break even after this session. And we're just rotating, right? That's all we're doing here is just rotating. So be very, very careful in the context of the rotations. If you're going to trade this, make sure that you're long down in the lower area of your range and you're short in the upper area of your range. Do not try to play in the middle, right? Like Vito says, don't fiddle in the middle, okay? Don't go fiddling in the middle. If you want to trade this, trade up here in this area for a short, trade this area down here for a long, and trade your rotation until it breaks out of one side or the other, okay? There's nothing wrong with doing that, right? Just don't fiddle in the middle of these two areas, because that's where you're going to get in, and you're getting in, you're waiting for way too much confirmation, and that's when the rotation is going to turn around and stop you out on the upper side and the bottom side. It's just going to take out the highs and the lows by a few ticks, and it's going to come right back into the rotation again until it finally decides to break out. And before I did got stopped because I was expecting a bounce from the liquidity, but they took the order and then entered above big trades. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really trying to keep myself locked in here aspect. So don't think I'm ignoring you by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just waiting. You know, and like Vito, right? Vito is using his areas that he learned from the institution, right? So in his viewpoint, and I might be speaking for him right now, and this is why I really need to get him on the streams. That's going to happen this next week. This whole area here, he would call fiddling in the middle. Okay. So he would call this like fiddling in the middle for this whole thing, right? He's waiting for price action to come up into here and see if, you know, the other time frame players start stepping in and doing something. And that's what I'm kind of waiting for right now as well. I'm just hoping that they do that before about 9 p.m. And if they don't, that's okay. I'll take a $174 hit. I mean, whatever, right? I mean, $174 hit on the market condition the way it is tonight. No, not that bad. I should be a heck of a much better shape though, just from these positions right here. Even this position right here, not making higher lows, move your stop to a break even, right? If it's making higher lows in here and it's not breaking down, move your stop to a break even if you got back into this area. I wouldn't get back into this area. It didn't move high enough, but that's okay, right? But these two positions back here, this one and this one, should have definitely been in short. If I've been in those two shorts, you know, I'd be up $200, $300, $400 right now. And it's like not like woulda, coulda, shoulda. Oh man, I should have been in those, right? No, had my areas. I knew. I knew I should be short from there, and I just didn't do it. And that's okay. Now, I'm not going long because I'm still anticipating developing value to shift lower, right? But now we have a new hourly bar that just formed, okay? And that new hourly bar, right? We're already coming through the close of the previous bar, but the previous bar closed in the top 1/3 of the range. So anticipate the high of that last candle to be tested and possibly broken at 556. And now we got our lower lows. Let's see if the 487 area holds. We got VWAP beneath us as well. And we got this 487, which is kind of important. Price action pulled right back into the high volume area of this last down bar, immediately breaking lows. Finding some possible support here at VWAP. Price action is trying to get up over the value over VPOC of current bar. It did finally, rotates right back into VPOC. And now what happens? You hate the open? Yeah. I mean, you know what? This is the first night that I have traded the Asia session live. I've never traded the Asia session live before. This is the first night. This isn't something that I normally do. So this is something different, a little special. Kind of considering buying that area right down here. This area right down here, really kind of considering buying that right now. To hold VWAP. But that's just a VWAP trade. And we're still looking for lower prices and developing value. Rotational there between the two high volume nodes, right? So we're just in a completely rotational market right now, not directional. It's a tough one, honestly. That's the nature of this career line. No, absolutely. No, and here's the thing, right? Hasn't been the easiest trading session, right? But look at me hunt my areas. Look at what I'm doing in the context overall. Am I down for the session? Sure. We're not going to be up in all sessions. But my God, this has been a beautiful trading session. I am absolutely going to be back in the Asian Open all over again. Don't you worry about that. This is fun. Are you kidding me? This is beautiful. This is perfect. You know, I don't get worked up over my bottom line. What I get worked up about a little bit is, am I following my plan? It doesn't matter at the end of the day what my P&L is. Okay, it really doesn't. What matters is I'm executing my plan. Because when I execute my plan, I can make adjustments based upon what my P&L is over time. If I'm not executing my plan, then how am I going to know how to make adjustments? And so it's all about execution. And tonight I would give myself a C on execution because I got out early on a stop and then I missed 2 trades to the downside. That is not acceptable. In fact, that should really be about a D, not even a C. Okay, I had a really good scalp. I had a couple of other really good positions, but I missed out on at least 3 and 6 positions in total. Now I'm about 50%. So that's an F, right? Because and it has nothing to do with the P&L. It has everything to do with trading the plan. Now we're right up here into the area of the 583 or the 573, excuse me. Immediate rejection. That's fine. I don't want to just trade the area, right? We come right down into the lows and buyers immediately respond. So let's wait and see how this bar closes. Look for anticipation of continuation play to the upside, possible pullback down here into the 462, and then the high to break. The high could possibly break even before it comes down into the 462 area. Developing value is actually shifting higher right now. Value area high is now at 625 because we keep accumulating volume around these highs. Right back down into the value, that VPOC that I was talking about. Buyers responded, getting through the open. Do we break the highs? There's the high, higher volume up here. Anticipating the highs to break. Highs break. Boom. There it goes. Beautiful. Right off that magical line of 573. Remember, 573 is not just to go short through, right? It's either side. Now we have some rejection possibly brewing here at the highs. Let's see what happens. Don't like the fact that we got through the high volume without testing the lower high volumes. We're not rotational right now, we're directional. And if you're in a scalp and you're not in rotation, be very careful. Immediately bought the high volume below us. We sold the high volume, but we bought through the high volume. Now anticipate the highs to break. I should be very defensive in my stop right now, and I'm not. I'm holding because I'm kind of hoping and praying that the position will hold instead of trading it the way that I should at the moment. And I'm kind of hoping and praying because of the area that I'm in, but we came right back down and tested that high volume again. Immediately bought it. We're rotational, but we're stronger to the upside right now than we are to the downside. Mm, yeah, it's going to pop up. Vito, your magical line. It is absolutely holding like a line in the sand right now. That is amazing. They're not selling it, they're buying it, which is just fine. But that line in the sand absolutely 100% held and gave me plenty of time to get out with a break even trade, and I held on to it. But that line in the sand right there was absolutely amazing. See what happens if we get back through it again. See, look at that. This is that is so amazing. That one little line. It almost makes me not want to try to sell into it, is what it does. Because you do nothing but seeing the buyers continuing to hold it. Next one is 610. Yeah, exactly. I need to talk to you about this line, not so much necessarily the location, the purpose of it. Because when we flip through, at what point do you stop trying to sell into it when you see that much strength coming into it? Because that, my friend, was a lot of strength there. That was really amazing. That was fun to watch. And I'm actually entering this position here at 409. Yes. When we came back down, yes. I know. I agree with you completely on that. No, I've made quite a few mistakes tonight. Absolutely made quite a few mistakes tonight. Too many that I really don't even want to count right now. And that's okay. It happens. It happens. I'm streaming live. I'm not feeling locked in at the moment. Um, there's a lot of things going on with that, but that's okay. I'm developing myself into this, and oh my God, when I get developed into this, it's going to be so much fun. I mean, it's already fun, but my God, when that happens, yeah. I really don't like the direction of the hourly candles either. And trying to short here against the hourly candle direction. Oh man, that might give me a little indication as well when it comes to these areas. Immediately buying that level all over again. Like clockwork, market hits that level and the buyers just step in. This is so fascinating to watch. I could just watch this for hours right here and just watch and see how this level plays out. That's one of the reasons why I have an order up here just to sell this level. I don't even care at this point in time. I want to see how this level plays out. There's no better way of understanding how a level plays out than just entering the market. If you were watching the daily candle, you never would have gotten out. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm still, since we've talked, I've got a lot of stuff around me that I didn't have before. And now I'm trying to figure out how to put all of that stuff together at the live edge. And it's confusing me a little bit in some places, in some areas. And so, you know, that's kind of what's going on in this context with me as well. Like, I wouldn't have been short here on my actual trading plan until we tested back up here at the 600. And that's where I would be short on this bar at 600. Why don't I use Gex? Because I really don't need it. I mean, when you look at my trading tonight, right? My areas of trading, okay, was that first scalp that I took on the long side. Okay, that was one of my areas. And then I would have taken 3 shorts tonight in this lower area down here. Okay. And off of my areas, my trading plan, those are the only areas that I would go off of. Well, Gex wouldn't have helped me in those areas. I don't need help in those areas. Those areas play out just fine for me. That's why I don't use Gex. Now, if I'm in the market in these areas in here and I'm working off of like Vito's Magical Line and those type of things, I might need more information. But for the way that I trade in my trading, I just don't need it. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's anything else. I just don't need it. And Gex wasn't around in the late 90s and early aughts when I was, when I was trading. And so, that's a tool that has been developed recently, not something that we used in that time frame, at least not in the circle that I was in. And still buying this off of this level. This is so fascinating to watch. You want to short so bad? Join the party. Come on in. The water's great. Oh, it's good times. Good times. The water's great. The margaritas are cold. Everybody's happy. Bouncing off the high volume down here. Well, you hold on to the short. Is that what you're saying? Or hold on to Gex? Well, one of the things I'm looking at is Vito's Magical Line, right? He was like one of those areas where he's like, okay, well, I've been looking for shorts between these two areas. Well, we've had nothing but buyers stepping in from this line. And it has, this line is not shorts and longs, right? This line is you go long or short based upon what's going on with it. Well, we came up to it and we've just been holding it with buyers. Now, do we close below it and see it held with sellers? I don't know. I don't know anything about these lines. So I'm just kind of watching them and see how price action behaves around them right now. That's all I'm kind of doing. And if I take an expense, you know what? I take an expense. I really don't care at this point in time. I'm learning. And the best way to learn is be in the market. You can do it sim if you want to. You can do it here live as well. It doesn't really matter. The best way to learn is to be in the market because your senses are heightened. You're watching it, not in a passive, but in an active way. And that active watching, that active participation, it's different than just watching it without the action. All right, Vito, you might need to leave a space for me. Right, and this is like I said, this is the first night I've ever traded the Asia session. I just don't. I don't usually trade this session. And I never traded it in my old world either of trading. I used to trade the London session and I would trade the Bund and I have the Bubble up at the same time. But I used to trade the Bund in the London session. And then I would trade oil around 5 a.m. and I would trade some of the currencies like the pound and the euro, the Swiss franc, the Aussie dollar. I used to love the Aussie dollar. And I would trade all that around the London session around 2 a.m. And then I would just go into oil around 5 a.m. and I would be done around 7 a.m. I'd get a couple hours of sleep and be back for the 9:30 session for the US session and trade until about 11:30, 12. Sometimes I get stuck in a trade and I'd be in until like 2 p.m. or so, 3 p.m. And then I would get to sleep and get back up at 1 a.m. and do it all over again. I'm telling you guys, I was a machine. I was absolutely a machine when it came to this. But the Asian session when I was trading was way too thin to be able to do anything that I'm trying to do in here tonight. Way too thin. Untradeable. Absolutely 100% untradeable. This, at least it's tradable. There's some quirkiness to it, I will have to admit. But most of that, it was just my inability of not reading the charts right tonight. There were so many things that I should have done differently tonight than I did, and I'm going to develop into those. And you guys are going to watch me develop into those if you're here in the afternoon sessions during the week, because those are the ones I'm going to come here and practice, and I'm going to break these charts apart, and I'm going to identify exactly why I didn't do the things that I did, and then I'm going to apply that training to the live edge again, and I'm just going to get better, and I'm just going to get better, and I'm just going to continue to get better, even more so than that. And that's just what I do, because I don't quit, because I don't look at this as a failure, because I don't look at this as, my trading identity, right? I made some mistakes tonight. I need to get better. Beautiful. What do? We practice. Why? To develop to the skill necessary to trade the session. And I'm going to be able to trade the hell out of this session in a few months. It's just going to happen. Because I don't quit. I'm too stubborn for all of that. And once I get a full idea in my head, that's it. And like this market right here is going to pop up. Watch this. It's going to pop up. She is ready to move. And I'm going to stay in this position because I really want to see what happens when we go up there and touch that other area. And I'm pretty sure we're going to touch it. And I just want to see what happens. It's like anticipation, right? You know that the stove is on and you know that it's hot, but you don't know how hot it is, and you know you're going to go over there and touch it anyhow, and you're just waiting, and you're just waiting to go touch it, and you know it's going to hurt you, right? You know it's going to be hot. You just don't know how hot, and you just can't help yourself. You're going to do it anyhow. That's where I'm at right now. And if you can't relate, well then I'm sorry, I'm just crazier than you. Short below 573, long above it, keep it simple. Yeah, exactly. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And I forget that sometimes. I overcomplicate things big time. And that's one of my faults in trading, and it always has been. I can't seem to just keep things simple all the time. And so you're saying short below it and buy above it. We're below it right now, but we're above here, so we should be trading in this range right now and not necessarily breaking lower. In terms of what I'm hearing from you, Vito. But then again, I don't know. So I'm just kind of guessing. And what's really cool though, and what I can say is I'm kind of guessing when it comes to these levels right now, and I'm still trading around them, right? And I know that I'm not trading around them right? So it's not like I'm saying, oh yeah, these levels don't work. No, I know that I'm not trading around them the way that they're supposed to. Okay. But the beautiful thing is I'm trading around these levels. I don't even know what I'm doing with them. And I'm not emotional. That's the beautiful part of this. I'm not emotional. I'm not trying to force trades. I'm not trying to get my money back. If I was trying to get my money back, I would have been out of the short when I was up about 300, right? And out of the position and just fine. And so we're above the area right now. So look for longs. We have another area above us where we're going to be looking for shorts, but this range is so tight that do we want to be um and no, I'm not saying that Gex hasn't always been around. It's like VIX, right? A lot of people don't use VIX anymore, not like they used to, because it was just an indicator for volatility for us, right? VIX is still around. Nobody's really using it. Gex was always around. Nobody was really using it. It wasn't a tool that was on our radar for the most part for most traders at that time. That's what I mean. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's a tool that I am not using right now and a tool that I haven't used in the past. That's it. It's kind of like auction market theory. You guys can be doing something else. I'm like, oh my God, you're not using volume profiles? Well, why wouldn't you use volume profiles? It's the same exact thing. If it's not part of your thing and you're doing well, then why make it part of your thing? It's the same exact thing. It's no different. Well, why aren't you using a 200 moving average? Well, why aren't you using this? Well, why aren't you using that? If you're consistent and you're profitable, and I've shown a track record, right? Granted, it's only 7 days, but now I want to see a lower low. Now I want to see a lower low. And now I want to see us test into this lower level. I want to see us test in the 573. I'm really hoping we do. I'm not so sure that we're going to. We're trading above these levels, okay? We have some rejection above us, but we have nothing but buyers below us. And so I'm anticipating price action to actually come through and trade through 610 pretty rapidly, is what my anticipation is, okay? And I'm going to take a pretty big hit tonight. Exactly. Everybody has their ways of trading. Exactly. Right? we have the things in our charts, and not everybody's charts are going to look the same. And what works for somebody isn't necessarily going to work for somebody else. And we're all kind of looking at pretty much the same things. I mean, most of us are looking at candlesticks or a variation of candlesticks, right? Even a range chart is still a candlestick. Like, I can't read range charts. They're just move too fast for me. My mind cannot keep up with the range charts. I might have been able to when I was 20 or 30, but not now at 50 years old. It's just not going to happen. I've tried. And I'm like, nope. And I used to use range charts before, but in the NASDAQ, way too fast. Way too fast. Honestly, the only reason why I don't use GEX, I've never had GEX up before. I don't know the benefit of GEX. Could I put it up there? Sure, I could. Definitely. But you know what? I could put ICT up there too. I could put anything up there. I could do whatever the hell I want to. They're my charts, right? So I don't have a good reason of why I don't use GEX other than I just don't use it. If that makes any sense. We're below it. So I'm going to put my stop right above it. Right above it. Oh, I haven't shown you guys this yet, have I? You guys haven't seen this yet. Ha. I do have a target down here. I do need to move that target. And there I'm stopped. I'm stopped out $45.36 in revenue. After all of that, I freaking love trading, man. Love trading. Love it, love it, love it. Huh. These areas, I'm really going to have to work on these areas. Well, I will be the first one to admit, not my best showing tonight by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't keep my eye on the daily chart. I should have kept in my long and not tried to scalp out of it. In fact, I should still be in the long position, if anything, right? I'm not even quite sure exactly where my stop would be on the long. Yeah, I do, right down here. On a long position, I would have my stop right now from 549, and I can't even tell you from where I was entered from. But I traded myself out of expenses. I got myself into expenses early in the night. I picked up some slippage, not used to this Asian market, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I can't rely on quick exits for break evens because I am going to pick up slippage in this market. The first time I ever traded this market. You know what? And I would rate myself an F tonight in trading my plan. So you put all that stuff together with a $45.36 revenue evening with the way that this market is traded tonight, I'll take it. I will take it. And then once again, I get out of my position a little bit too early. Oh yeah, no, I was being a smartass when I said ICT metals. I was being a complete smartass. Vito calls it I can't trade. That's what he says it stands for, is I can't trade. He makes me laugh. Guys, Vito's amazing. Love this guy. Love this guy. Gent short at 572. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's all sorts of reasons to be in short right now. I don't understand these areas yet. I just don't understand the areas yet. I still see that they can do a rotation up into value area high around 625. What I failed to do well tonight was to follow my longer term charts. And my longer term charts are still telling me long right now. And in that context, I just wanted to scalp out of my short in case we got right back into that area. I didn't want to get rotational again. Because we've been holding that area at 573 on the buyers for so long that, it is what it is. Exited a little bit early, 100%. Could have I gotten out of 4 and kept 4 on and put, a target down here or a target down here? Absolutely. Honestly, It's 8:37 at night. I've been up since 4:45 this morning. I'm ready to call it a night. I am ready to call it a night. It has been a good night. I have really, really enjoyed this. I did not trade this session well, but I am going to be practicing this session this next week, and I am going to get good at trading this session. But I also live to trade another day, and I live to trade through the US session, and I still have all the risks that I had before, so I'm not exactly concerned with it. There we go. When are you on next? We enjoyed watching. Fred, thank you so much. I appreciate that, truly. I will be on next 10 to 11 tomorrow morning in the US session, and then I will not be back until Sunday. I will be I have a trip I have to make. I got to go see a friend. Not doing well health-wise, and I got to go see a friend. So I will be doing that this weekend, but I will be back on Sunday, and I'll be practicing on Sunday during the before the Asian session, but then I'm going to be here to trade the Asian session on Sunday. So there we go. There we go. Trading the Asian session from 6 to 9 p.m., 8:30, somewhere around in there, and then the U.S. session from 10 to 11, and then the practice in the afternoons. So that's the plan. That's what we're going with, and that's what we're going to do. Are there any questions, any comments, any concerns? Thank you guys for letting me trade tonight. I apologize for not being able to fully lock into these charts in the trading. I did keep getting myself locked out a little bit. I kind of lost it, to be honest with you, right back here. When I didn't get into my short positions in here, I kind of lost it a little bit. And I never really did get it back. And that's why I didn't enter the long in here that I should have, as we came back down, through this area. And I should have been long right up here around the 493. And I just didn't do it. Right. So those were my biggest mistakes, not shorting in here in my area, not going long down in here. And that's why I give myself an F for this trading session, but that's okay. We're going to get into A's, and it's going to happen. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Thank you so much for the conversations, for the camaraderie, for the questions, for the statements, for the support. Truly, truly, truly appreciate each and every single one of you. DJ Vito, thank you so much for your expertise this evening. Truly appreciate you as well. And until tomorrow at 10 a.m. New York time, be safe, be kind, and know that you are loved. I love you guys. Enjoy. Oh yeah, and happy trading.